Hello, I'm Luke Green. I'm the creator of Divine Blood, both the fiction and the role-playing game, and you right now are on the Kickstarter page for Demon Next Door, which is the first supplement for that role-playing game. When I had to choose a first supplement, there were several different options I could have gone with, but in the end, I went with something that I think is more interesting and really comes closer to the heart of what makes the setting stand out for me from a lot of the other urban fantasies out there. And that is a focus on the lives of supernatural citizens and civilians in the Divine Blood Earth setting. Because in a lot of other urban fantasies, when you are supernatural, you immediately are part of some secret war, or you have some sort of role within the world that makes you more powerful than those around you. And in Divine Blood, a person is a person is a person, and the vast majority of supernatural people aren't any more dangerous or powerful than the average human. They just have a talent that is a little bit more unusual. And that is the concept I wanted to focus on first. So the story that this book will help you create, the gameplay advice that is directed at, is that kind of slice of life, lighthearted comedy, or the serious emotional drama, or the play it straight but you're really being quite ironic, satirical thing of doing the soap opera mode. Those are the kind of stories that this book focuses on helping you tell. These are the daily absurdities that we tell to our friends and families about how we hit every red light on the way out today, or these stories of how we met our significant other and the funny things we got to when we were dating them, or the attempts to be the best, win some local contest or something like that. Or, if you're a student trying to get out of having to study but still wanting to get that perfect A. Anything along those lines that we've experienced day to day. That's what this book focuses on reproducing. These are the kind of stories you would mostly run across in webcomics like El Goonish Shive, or Waspy Square, or questionable content, or in sitcoms like Mad About You, Friends, Seinfeld, if you want a little bit more blacker humor, and Happy Days, Mork and Mindy, things like that. Clarissa Explains It All for younger audiences. And if you're going into the Japanese animation, you would look at Oh My God, or manga, you would look at Oh My Goddess, or K-On!, Azumanga Daioh, or Lucky Star, or anything like that. Stories where the conflict and contention come from people being people rather than life and death situations. And that is the sort of story that I wanted to focus on. In terms of information, you get a lot. The primary focus is on the community, which is the largest organized group of supernatural civilians, at least in as much as you could consider them to be organized compared to a lot of the secret societies. And then you get their history, you get the attitudes of the older generations versus the younger generations. You get discussions on which countries are the most hospitable to the supernatural, which ones are the least. You get discussions on which of the non-human species are prominent in the community and which ones are part of other groups. And in addition to that, there's quite a bit of information on the civilian gods and demons that live on Earth. Because there is a significant portion of the immortals who live full-time on Earth. In fact, any of them that are younger than 18, whether for the first time or because they reincarnated recently, any of the demon and god children grow up on Earth before they get allowed to access all their memories again. And so there's quite a bit of information on the gods and demons and their connections as well. And above that, there is some pop culture information about stuff that people are interested in just in general, whether they have any sort of supernatural abilities or not. You know, the kind of fashion statements or popular movies or anything of that nature. Now, even if a slice of life campaign style is not your main interest, and that is quite often the most usual thing is the action adventure. Even if you are doing that, this book is still useful for you because it lets you pepper your campaign with a lot of information that makes the world a little bit deeper, a little bit more realistic, gives it those little details that may not be incredibly plot important, but just seem to bring it to life. In fact, that is what we're doing right now in playtesting. We're playtesting a very combat-heavy group that focuses really heavily on finding enemies and fighting them, rather than on social interaction as much or on investigation, whereas the previous two were investigations and daily life mixes. And that is still going to be useful because you're still going to have your heroes, your adventurers, your mercenaries dealing with the civilians. They will often themselves have a civilian past. And even if they have been in a warrior family their entire lives, they are still going to be exposed to the pop culture things. And, again, the NPCs. So having this book can help you, again, bring out a lot of those details that make a campaign more alive. And that is the project that this is working to support. And I hope very much that you will help us. Thank you very much in advance.